like that people are actually not sitting there and listening to us, only the team, but rather we talk to a camera. I think that's going to be a challenge for me.
So this year I actually found a topic which I'm really happy to talk about to you, to maybe inspire some of you.
So I have to admit, like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm super nervous, like, thinking about it, but I'm so excited at the same time as well. Like, I can't wait to be on stage, actually. So yeah, I'm really excited. I think this outweighs the nervousness that I have, definitely.
But in the moment afterwards, I just want to feel a sense of pride and relief.
Welcome to Talk2be 3.0, the student speaker event where we break cognitive boundaries. We have for you today 4 amazing speakers and 1 mystery act. So get ready, buckle up, and enjoy the show.
Welcome everyone, welcome. Thank you so much for tuning in today. It is quite funny, there is not really an audience here, but I feel even more nervous doing this just with the camera, but thank you so much for joining us today for Talk2be 3.0. Now, before we actually get into the event, I want to share with you a little story. So, when I was a kid, and I am the youngest of 3, there was always a lot of discussion going on at the dinner table, right? And those discussions sometimes would get really intense, and everyone had different opinions. Everyone was trying to convince each other of their ideas. And as a young kid, I didn't really like that. But as I was growing up and I became older and older, I actually started to appreciate that. Because it's through these discussions with my family, but also through the discussions with all the people around me that I learned so much. And there have been so many people in the past that have fought for us to have the freedom of expression, to have the freedom of speech. And I think it's a wonderful tool, and it's a wonderful thing, and something that we should try to demonstrate every day. And that is also the reason why we organize Talk2be. Talk2be is a speaker event where we give student speakers the opportunity to share a story that they are passionate about, something that they're knowledgeable on, or just something that they really want to share. And it is one of the biggest fear of people to actually stand on a stage like this and talk to an audience, and in this case, even talk to just a camera. So all the speakers that are going to be here this afternoon are incredibly brave and courageous for stepping on here and sharing something in the public light. And that is also why I want to take a moment and I want to invite you for a very short loving kindness meditation. And if this is something you've never done before, then I would encourage you to break your cognitive boundaries, to step outside of your comfort zone. And we're just going to take 2 minutes digitally, but still with each other, to do a very short loving kindness meditation. So I want to invite you to close your eyes for a moment and try to feel your body on the chair or the couch or wherever it is that you're sitting right now. And just check in with your body for a moment. Feel gravity pulling you down. Maybe sensations in your face, in your arms, maybe your torso or your legs. And just be here in this moment. And now take this focus and use it in your mind to wish yourself well. Just say it in your mind. May I be happy. May I be peaceful. May I experience love and warmth. And really try to sink in to that feeling. And then I want to ask you to take that feeling, to take that well-wishing, and wish it upon our speakers tonight. May you be happy. May you be successful tonight. And may you enjoy. And really wish that warmth to them. And then you can come back into your body, feel your body on the chair, feel the gravity pulling you down, and then open your eyes. And I hope that felt good. For me, it felt very good. I can see for the crew that is sitting here, it's felt very good. And I hope most of all that for the speakers, it felt good and it encouraged them. And that will also be what we're going to do right now. We're going to welcome the first speaker to stage. So without any further ado, here is Leon, and he's going to be talking about Be the Driving Engine. Leon, take it away.
Hanna, soll ich so sitzen? Oder soll ich so sitzen?
So ist eher Leon,
So?
glaube ich. Ja.
Ja?
Das Bein überschlagen ist ein bisschen zu viel geworden.
It's gay. Okay. Warte mal. All right. My name is Leon Voss. I'm 23 years old. I'm from Germany, from a small town called Vechta. Probably some people know about this one. It's quite famous but small. I'm studying currently international marketing management at the Hansa University of Applied Sciences, and I'm currently doing my bachelor's. I would describe myself as a person, as an enthusiast towards fitness, towards being open for people, communicative, and very generous to people. As I first got to know the foundation with the Talk2be event, I was very curious in the beginning, and the second time I actually wanted to apply for it. However, I didn't really know what to talk about, and I felt I really need to have a kind of passion towards something instead of just trying to look for a topic. So the content of this presentation will be about taking initiative and also being your own motivator and not depending on others or waiting for others. And how unconsciously egoistic we actually are, and how we can solve this problem through communication and motivating yourself. I think it's also a reminder for myself that because if you have passion for something, and if you study for something, and if you just feel something that you want to tell others, and actually you're speaking about it and you're telling others, I think it makes it even more conscious for yourself. So while I'm having my presentation, it will also this content will also strengthen in my view of it. On the other hand, I think I will also feel happy to just inspire, hopefully, some more people about it, because I told a lot of people already about it, and they were quite inspired by it. So I hope that the people will be inspired, and I will give them some kind of tips for their future behavior, their future life.
Is your family watching?
I hope so. We'll see.
They better.
They better.
How does a car work? What a weird question, you might think. But I just want you to think about this weird question for a moment, and I will tell you the story about Be the Driving Engine. It was all when COVID started. It was a year ago, April, March, and I was going home from Groningen to Vechta, to my small town, to be with my family, to rest, to settle down, and to just be back home with my family. And I was following the meditation challenge of Be More. And at this time, I felt very zen, very at the moment, but somehow I also felt annoyed with something. And I had no physical contact to many of my friends because the pandemic was going on, so I didn't meet the people in the city. I didn't meet the people at parties or somewhere throughout the day. And I figured that not meeting people or those friends in public also sometimes meant not having contact at all through WhatsApp. So I felt forgotten, I felt mad, and also a bit sad. And on day 3 of this meditation challenge, so we always had 15 minutes of meditating, and then we had a task that we need to do and write something down. I actually have my book with me now, and I will just read out the task and what I wrote down, because this is the start of Be the Driving Engine. That's where I started. 3 things you hope for in life, plus how can I reach them and what could help? How I believe to feel when fulfilling them. And my 3rd hope on this was keeping a lifelong, strong friendship to my boys. And how can I reach it? How can I reach being this? And I wrote down, be the driving engine. Show appearance to them. How I believe to feel when fulfilling them and what could help. So what could help? Be thankful, show love, and give opinion to them. And how do I feel when fulfilling it? Happy, supported, and mostly valued. So I want to ask the question again to you. How does a car work? Maybe you've written down something, and maybe you've written down it needs fuel, it needs an engine, it needs a steering wheel, wheels. But maybe you've forgotten the main component of a car that you need to go from A to B, or rather said that the car needs to go from A to B, your body, the driver. A car needs a driver. And I'm excluding Elon Musk here and Tesla, so I'm not excluding this. And I want you to be the driver, be the driving engine. And everything you want to do, take the initiative. You should not wait on others or depend on others, because it's your life, so make things happen. And I'm coming back to this WhatsApp example that I gave you in the beginning, the texting. And you should not reach out and make people feel welcome. So when you think that people might feel mad or sad, reach out to them. Don't wait on them that they are reaching out to you, because it might be that they're thinking the same. So if you have little time, just send them a message, because they might be not your number one friend, and you might not be their number one friend, but still, they might be happy if they see your name popping up the screen. So just don't think about it, just do it. So there are 2 important factors to be the driving engine. It's egoism, and the second one is communication. And first off, I want to start with egoism. I would say we're all egoistic and we all want to be treated right. So everyone always asks themselves, how do I want to be treated right? And they have expectations towards people, expectations that should be met somehow. But you should always tell yourself that the other person also might think the same. So the other person might also expect something from you. And then we're running into a dilemma because both people are expecting something and both people are egoistic. And how can we solve this dilemma? Showing empathy. Show empathy towards a person. And we will improve the connection and understanding of each other. Think out of the position as your friend. What does your friend think? And I'm coming from a marketing field, and I always have this question in my head. What does the customer want? What does the consumer want? And what are the needs and wants of the consumer? And it might not be too bad to think this about the person you might want to text. The second one, this is my favorite one actually, communication. And I truly believe that communication is key. It's key for everything. Communicate with people and everything will be better than before. It will strengthen your connection and friendship. So you should communicate mostly everything. Don't tell the person that he's an idiot or that he's stupid or something. That's not what I'm meaning, but just tell them how you feel about the person. Text them how you feel about him. And ask also for feedback, because you also want to improve, right? So motivate yourself to make the first step. And do not be offended if this person might give you feedback that you might not be perfect or that you're doing something wrong, because that's fine. And this feedback is coming from the very deep soul of this person, because normally this person would never tell you this. The person's only telling you this because you are asking for it. So appreciate it, because this is very, very personal. And from critical feedback, you can always improve. Trust me on that. So better asking for feedback to improve yourself, to improve your friendship and connection than staying the same. And you might lose track of your friendship. So, to just wrap it up really quick for you, that you keep the most important things in mind. First thing is, start with taking initiative, always. Don't wait or depend on others. Always go for it. If you want to change something, be the driving engine. Start thinking as your partner is the second one. Put away your egoism and expectations and show empathy. Show love to your friends. And the third one, my most favorite one, sharing is caring. Receive and give feedback to improve. That's be the driving engine. Thank you so much.
Awesome, Leon.
Thank you. Now you can be the driving
so
engine
much.
again then.
I'll try my best. And actually, it's funny that you say that, because I had a good friend of mine from way back who I had a kind of little fallout with him. And then after that fallout, we had, hang out one more time 2 years ago, 1.5 years ago. And in my head, I was kind of doing what you also said, right? I was like, well, why is this guy not approaching me anymore? I tried patching it up. Why did he not send me a text or something? Yeah, and actually that would have been the perfect opportunity for me to do the same. Now, last week, all of a sudden, I get a text, very simple text, and him just saying, hey man, we should hang out sometime soon. And that was so nice. That hit me good. So someone else being the driving engine made my day, and I think if you are the driving engine, you have the power to also make someone's day. So thank you very much for that lovely talk. And then we are going to move to our next speaker. And this one I'm also super, super stoked for. I want to give the stage to Annika who is going to be talking about self-confidence. So Annika, best of luck.
Oh. Can I actually?
Yeah, give
I
me
just,
my
oh
phone.
yeah, yeah.
You should stop the recording.
Yeah. Just put it in my pocket like that. Hey you guys, my name is Annika, I'm 21 years old and I'm from Hamburg in Germany, and I currently study international communication in my second year. I would describe myself as a really social animal, so I love catching up with friends and spending time with my family. I play tennis, I do yoga, I love traveling. So I would, yeah, just in general say I'm always busy, always out and about. So today I'm going to talk about self-confidence, and over the last years I have simply come to realize that self-confidence is extremely important. It is, I think, the most important key to have in life. And my main goal for today is to motivate everyone who's listening to me to actually start improving their level of self-confidence and to also help them realize that they already have what it takes to do so. So I see Talk2be as a great opportunity for me to convey an important message to a lot of people out there, and also to simply challenge my very own self-confidence. I mean, this is a huge challenge for myself as well. And I also believe that I have to put in practice what I'm preaching here. So yeah, that's my reason, yeah. So I have to admit, like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm super nervous, like, thinking about it, but I'm so excited at the same time as well. Like, I can't wait to be on stage actually. So yeah, I'm really excited. I think this outweighs the nervousness that I have, definitely. Absolutely, I told them to, so they have to, whether they want to or not. Exactly. No, I told my family, my friends at home in Germany and here in Groningen, so I believe everyone's sitting in front of the screen watching me speak. So yeah, I'm really excited about that and having the support from everyone for this event.
Have you ever wondered whether you are your best self? Whether you use your full potential? And whether you make the most of your life? You live in a world where you can be, do, and achieve anything you want. So, if you truly want to be a neuroscientist, why don't you just go for it? If you really want to open your own cafe, why don't you just do so? Between having the opportunity and actually doing it, there lies a gap. Something that keeps you from becoming who you want to be, doing what you truly want to do, and chasing the goal that you have always aimed to achieve. It's a lack of self-confidence. Self-confidence is not just a word. It is a skill. It is a lifelong process. And it is indeed a superpower. Self-confidence is something that we underestimate the importance of, and it should be treated like a must-have instead of a nice-to-have. In fact, self-confidence is the key to your dreams. I have given this topic a lot of thought, and I figured that self-confidence is based on three main components: pure trust, acceptance, and understanding. It's about fully trusting your own abilities, qualities, and strengths. It's about trusting your very own goals, expectations, and dreams, so that you then have the courage to turn those into reality. Self-confidence also means accepting the person you are, with all your weaknesses and self-doubts and struggles. It's about understanding yourself and dealing with these life-defining questions, such as, who am I? What do I truly want in life? How do I take care of myself? Or how far can I actually go? I want to use this time today to encourage you guys to put your excuses aside and to start overcoming your lack of self-confidence, no matter which level you're at. And for that, I have indeed reflected on my very own journey of developing self-confidence, and I quickly came to realize that it takes 5 main steps to truly improve this skill. Step 1. Surround yourself with a supportive environment. Your environment, say family and friends, they create the foundation for you to grow. And ideally, they give you love, affection, encouragement. These are values and feelings that are essential for us to thrive. People who always have an open ear and a shoulder to lean on, who celebrate your greatest achievements and lift you up after your most bitter defeats. Those people make all the difference. But without this supportive environment, you tend to feel left alone. You start doubting your actions, which is totally understandable because you're simply missing this foundation to build your self-confidence upon. And therefore, you should make sure that you surround yourself with people that have your back and cheer you on along the way. Step 2. Make sure you feel comfortable. Feeling comfortable has a huge impact on your appearance. And a lot of people associate feeling comfortable with the way they look or the clothes they wear. But that's not what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about whether you feel comfortable in your own skin. And to achieve that, you should take time to get to know yourself, your boundaries, your principles, your values. You should take good care of your body and treat it gently. You should learn how to listen to your body and reflect on your own feelings and thoughts. Because all of that, we tend to forget during the hustle of everyday life. But these things are so essential for all of us to feel at peace, to truly feel comfortable, and to in turn become more self-confident. Step 3. Think positive. Our mindset is the key to change attitude. And a positive mindset means that we approach challenges in a more optimistic and productive way. And don't get me wrong here, it's not about you ignoring the difficulties. It's about you being confident that everything will work out in the end. Positive thinking starts with positive self-talk. If you have optimistic, encouraging, and hopeful thoughts, that means that you have a better social life and that you can improve both your physical and mental well-being. Being positive also helps you to reduce stress and pressure and tension. And it will help you to be reinforced and more confident eventually. What do you think of the idea of taking 5 minutes every evening to name 3 things that happen throughout the day that you are grateful for? From getting good grades over having delicious food to seeing another person smiling at you from the other side of the street. There are so many beautiful and precious things happening to us every day. And by focusing on this bright and positive side of life, you will soak up energy and you will manage to change your mindset. Step 4. Celebrate the small things. You should learn how to celebrate your small victories along the way. Big, complex ideas and ambitions, they require time, patience, and endurance. 3 little words that no one of us likes to hear, I can tell. But all we often see is this big reward at the end. What about all the weeks, months, sometimes years in between? By simply focusing on this big reward, you will feel stressed and pressured and overwhelmed because you constantly remind yourself of the fact that you're still miles away from actually achieving it. But by rewarding yourself for how far you have already come, you will gain confidence, strength, and motivation to carry on. So, to get the big win and to not lose faith in yourself, taking challenges step by step, setting realistic goals, and rewarding yourself for your small achievements along the way is essential. Step 5. Practice and repetition. Building self-confidence, and I'm not gonna lie, requires sweat, tears, and frustrations. It's about falling, but getting back up again. It's about crying, but wiping the tears away. It's about being anxious, but doing it anyway. Only people that constantly leave their comfort zone and put themselves in these undesired situations can truly develop self-confidence. And it certainly does require dedicated action, practice, and repetition. I would like to share something with you. I have given a good few speeches and presentations so far. And I would say that I'm generally quite confident at it. But this, what I'm doing right here, is very, very different to what I've done before. And I must admit that I certainly did have sleepless nights worrying about whether everything will work out or whether this challenge is not too big for me to take on. The thing is, we can only get over our fears by confronting them over and over again, and by always going this small step further. Because confrontation, it proves to you that you're actually capable of achieving your biggest goals. And practice and repetition will then help you to become confident and excellent at what you're doing. All I can say is embrace self-doubt and fear. Leave your comfort zone. Learn and grow from experience. To truly increase your self-confidence, you should surround yourself with a supportive environment. Make sure you feel comfortable. Think positive. Celebrate your small achievements and practice and repeat your actions. And most importantly, you should start doing so now. So roll up your sleeves, people, and get out there. I know you got this. Thank you very much.
Wow. Whew. That went straight to the heart. Thank you so
very
much
much, Ron. Thanks.
for sharing that. funny little anecdote. Yesterday afternoon, Annika and I went on the street together with Manuel and Lucy to promote Talk2be to strangers. And thinking that I'm Mr. Cool Guy, Mr. Confident Guy, I just said, you know what, I'll go by myself. I'll approach a couple of strangers, try to get them to Talk2be. And for 10 minutes, I just walked. I didn't approach a single person, not one. And then I actually tried calling up Annika to ask her if we could team up maybe. And we ended up coming together and actually approaching a whole bunch of people. But it was that pain and that suffering that I had to go through, and thinking that I was confident, I was just not there yet. But thanks to her, I did actually manage to push through. And if I can do it, then I'm sure that you can also do it. So yeah, thank you. Beautiful, beautiful speech. Now, before we are going to head into the break, because we do have a little break for you planned, thinking about how important it is to move and to take a break from the screen, I first want to ask each and every one to write down a quote from a song or a movie that you really like. And this can be a silly quote, it can be a great quote. Just write down the quote in the live chat right now. And then that is something that we'll be using for our life act in a little bit. All right, then we're going to take a 15-minute break, grab a cup of coffee, do some stretches, do some jumps, and then we're going to be right back with Talk2be. Thank you, and see you in a bit.
Hello, 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 also from our side. This is my wonderful colleague today, Mila, and my name is Malina. And we're here for the halftime show, and we're hoping to be entertaining you with some improv today. And what's going to happen is that we have prepared a game called Quote Notes. And yes, you probably already have guessed it. This is also what the quotes of the movies and also the song lyrics were for. So in our break, lovely Lucy and Bjarne have written down all your quotes, and we have them here on the table. So what Mila and I are going to do now is we're going to start a scene, an improv scene, meaning we're going to start from scratch. I'm going to ask Mila for a relationship and a location before we start the scene, and that is everything we have to build a scene upon. And then while we're going to implement these quotes in our little scene. Thank you very much. And when we're ready, we're going to take it away. I always tell that to people when I'm facilitating, but today I'm also acting. So whenever I'm ready, I'm going to take it away. What's our relationship and what's the location?
Well, I think it would be really fun if we would be a couple today.
Mm-hmm.
And what is better than a baby shower as a scene?
Alrighty, so we're going to be a couple. We're going to be at a baby shower. That's everything we have, right? Ready? Perfect. Scene. Honey, you know what I've been just thinking? I've seen all of these people here, and I'm thinking we're ready for the next step in our relationship because I really want what everyone else here is having. I think we're ready. What do you think?
What do you mean by what everybody else is having? Clothes on, food in their hands?
Don't be ridiculous. I mean rings, I mean babies, I mean marriages. I want us to be serious, okay?
Why? We've never been serious, you know? Every time your mom comes over, she always says, I know, I know how. That wasn't clothes, you know?
Yeah, but your mom is not a serious part of our relationship anymore. This is what I mean. I want us to become serious, meaning our parents are out of the game, okay? I'm also not, walking up to my mom every time you tell me he was too afraid to fly, so he never did land.
Wow, you're going to bring his suicide into this? Dude, that's so not cool. No, don't even talk to me like this, okay?
Okay, are you
seriously mad? There's a cute baby coming here and you want to talk about death? What's wrong with you?
No, I was actually starting this conversation because I want to have us a baby as well, but you just made it about death, okay?
Derek always says to this, I'm the king of the world. That's how I feel too. I don't care. I am the king, okay? And you might want to be my queen, but are you really?
Okay, you know what I just think is very funny? How you just reference your dumb-ass friend Derek saying how he's the king of the world. He's just clearly delusional, and I also don't get what he's doing in our relationship. This is a thing between you and me, and if you don't want to get serious, tell me right now.
Well, I think we have an issue here, and I think you should just chill, Just relax a little.
The thing is, you've been telling me for 15 years now that I should chill, but I'm really waiting for the next step. Where's my ring? Where is my baby? Why can't we just take it to the next level? I've been talking to Tiffany last week, and you know what she told me? She told me, my name is Bond, James Bond.
Well, I think your friend Tiffany is taking her acting classes way too serious and trying to method act now all of a sudden. I saw her rolling on the street doing the cool Bond flip all of a sudden. You want to be like her? Sure, be like her. Just put on some packs or something to save your body, because if you want to have a baby, maybe not get run over by a car.
I think it's just funny how you make it about Tiffany now when you're the one putting on an act at a baby shower of my best friend Christina, okay? This is so down here. This is really beneath your level. And I'm just thinking right now, no thank you, Sharpay. You are very good at a game that I don't want to play right now.
Ah. So you're calling me Sharpay? She's the coolest one, but still, she's very Barbie all of a sudden,
It's so funny that you spent your free time watching High School Musical instead of putting me a ring on the finger.
Well, if you want a ring so bad, I can just go to the jeweler and be like, may the force be with you, The ring is the power. I mean, yeah, sure, you want, like Lord of the Rings, all of a thing, but let's do more of a Star Wars thing, Oh, we should do like a Star Wars engagement. I think that would be so cool. I think I should ask Derek for that. He has a van. He can transport us somewhere.
Okay, now you're also bringing Star Wars in our relationship.
Duh.
I think if you go to the jeweler, you should say Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang, because no other brand is gonna be the ring that I'm gonna put on my finger, okay?
Girl, I'm just like talking here, but we don't have that much money. If you want some Gucci ass ring, you have to get it somewhere else, I can ask Derek if he can steal us one for it, but I don't think I'm gonna go into a Gucci store looking like this,
Well, if you would spend your free time more in things that would get us some money instead of some dumb-ass shit with your delusional friend Derek, then you would have the money to put the ring on my finger. Just saying here.
Well, I feel very personally attacked now, and I think you just take a breath, calm down a little, and we can talk about it later.
I don't really feel like calming down right now because the only thing on my mind is just, leave it, Yera! That's what I'm thinking.
Well, now people are looking at us, like, look at all
Yes, everyone can look at us, okay? He's not ready after 15 years putting a freaking ring on my finger or a baby in my belly. What do you guys think, huh? Did you hear that? Someone just yelled over there. It's just a spurt, but it's enough to keep me going. It's not enough anymore to keep me going. So tell me right here, right now, are you gonna do it or not?
Well, fine, sure, here. Just take my ring. It's with my grandmother's. No, my grandfather's. Sorry, I don't want to be like over weird here. But just take it.
I'm not quite sure if I make myself clear to you, but I want your family and your delusional friends out of our relationship.
This is a ring. I'm giving it to you, but you don't want it, You keep bringing up all the stuff we had in the past, Just keep swimming, okay? Just keep swimming. Take the ring, It's a treasure.
Look, I really don't know. I feel like I'm talking to a 30-year-old, but I don't want to swim. I don't want to go anywhere. I don't want to do freaking Star Wars. I just want you to go to the jeweler and put a ring on my finger, okay? What are your thoughts on that, huh?
Well, if you don't want to swim, my swimmers are also not going to swim, okay?
It's also funny that you relate to, that with swimmers. This also shows your, state of maturity. And also, I was just thinking, I have less compassion than the average person.
Well, I feel like that's become obvious to the whole entire room right here.
Well, I don't really care about the whole entire room because everything I'm thinking about is I drank your milkshake, okay? I drank your freaking milkshake, and ever since I'm just waiting for you to put a ring on my finger so I can finally confess it, and you're not gonna leave me for that.
Well, I don't know how to respond to that much passive aggression, but I think I'll just say it was deep. It was deep what you said. That's maybe what you're thinking right now, but you are also delusional. Just chill. We're at a baby shower. There's like a baby popping out of somebody here, like in a few months or weeks. I don't know. I lost track a little. Sorry. But, just live in the moment more,
You know what, honey? I'm just thinking there's something good in every person if you just give them the chance to show. And I've given you so many chances right now, and I'm just waiting for your show to pop on, okay? So this is your last chance. What do you have to say in your defense?
Well, first of all, I still love you, honey, Okay, let me just put that on the table.
Well,
right
I
here.
thought that was kind of a prerequisite for a relationship, but thank you for letting me know.
I feel like you are kind of hating me right now, and I think we just need to, have the compassion going already.
I think you're misinterpreting the room. But anyway, so what are your last thoughts, huh?
My last thoughts, honey. That's funny of you to say. But a wise poet once said, just let it go. Let it go and go with the flow. Go with the flow, and then someday maybe I will propose to you. We'll have a child in the far future, maybe.
Thank you very much.
Wow, thank you. That was absolutely hilarious. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Whew. All right. So initially I was thinking maybe I should just improvise this part as well, but I'm not nearly as good at that, so I'm just not even going to bother. Thank you guys so much for that. That was absolutely hilarious. I hope you at home also enjoyed this and had a good laugh. I'm sure that we all did here. And I just want to move into the next speaker right now. So from this very light-hearted, funny stuff, we're going to bring in a beast of a speaker. Please give it up for Sander and his talk on the impact of feminism on masculinity. Take him away.
Very important. You can also have 2 side angles, but in this case, maybe we should.
Hey, Sander.
Hi.
Okay, you can start by introducing yourself, where you're from, your age, and what you study.
So my name is Sander. I'm 23 years old. I study international communication at the Hansa University of Applied Sciences. And I'm from Germany partially and from the Netherlands partially. I was born in Sneek in Friesland, and I lived abroad quite some years in several countries. As a person, I would describe myself as rather honest and direct, yet I would say that I'm fairly well known for being friendly and wanting to help people wherever possible. Yeah, during my speech I'm going to be talking about masculinity. The way that I see it is that even though feminism is a rather important thing, and we hear about that quite a lot, I have the feeling that there is usually a bunch of very radical people from the masculine and from the feminine side that shout whatever they think is the exact right thing. And now I want to be adding to that with my opinion. And what I want to be talking about is really what a gentleman culture could change in this world, and how I see that to be a better solution to the world's gender issues we're having than shouting pro-men, pro-women. I think I'm mostly excited. I think the scary part might still come. Thinking like the couple of minutes before I actually go on stage. But mostly it is a challenge for myself. It's not something strange that I'll be talking about. So like the only thing I have to embrace is the fact that it is reproducing what I've probably been speaking to myself for the past couple of days anyway, so take it easy, enjoy. These are your 10 to 15 minutes where the focus is actually on me for once rather than on others.
Ladies and gentlemen, what's the difference between a soldier and a killer? I don't think you really often thought about that, did you? But there's one thing that I can tell you. They have uncompromisable values. Soldiers hold a moral compass. In today's world, it seems like everything is anti. Look at cancel culture. Look at the current elections going on in the Netherlands. In today's speech, I'm going to propose a transition. I am first going to start off with 2 anecdotes. In 2009, on the 14th of February, we lived in Northern Africa. We lived in a very, very warm country, and we lived there because my dad had to move around for his job. He worked from very early in the morning until usually late in the afternoon or even in the evening. At least twice a week, he would go out to some events that were necessary for work. So it wasn't all that usual that I would see him. But this one day, I vividly remember picking my glass, picking my bottle from the fridge, pouring my glass, going outside, opening the front door, and I see my dad walking towards me. He had a big bucket of roses in his hands, 50 or more roses, red ones, for my mom. And the second anecdote, it was a beautiful day again, and what that means, living in Libya, around the beach, super flat waters. My dad and I, we went out as soon as possible to take the kayaks and go after where we thought there would be dolphins. We were about 500 meters offshore, and my mom and my dad and my little brother were coming behind us in another kayak. All of a sudden, we saw them swim, and we went after it. This young 12-year-old self going right after it, adrenaline gushing through my veins. My dad right next to me, probably not even having a workout or anything like that, because me with my small little arms. We ended up being there. 200 meters, 100 meters, 50 meters, and all of a sudden, I noticed myself freeze. There was a big black shadow underneath me. Up to today, I still vividly remember that moment. It was mind-blowing, and I couldn't move anymore. My dad, being in another kayak, couldn't really change anything about it, so he just stayed close and talked me through. I didn't know that dolphins would get up to 4 meters long and half a ton heavy. They could have been playing water polo with me. I couldn't have done anything, and that's how I felt. 500 meters offshore, helpless. But my dad was there. He talked me through. He didn't pity me. He didn't downgrade the situation. He didn't make it seem like there's nothing wrong. He acknowledged the fact that I was scared and made me push through. What that did with me is the fact that when I came home, I was super proud of myself. I'm not here to give you any advice on how to raise kids or anything like that. I'm here because I see a fairly parted world. A world without moral values. And what I want to propose to you is that we go into a world with a culture of gentlemen. I think life is very much about learning. Learning you do very much through role models. From the moment you get out of the womb, you have to learn how to walk, how to eat, how to drink. Well, drinking goes fairly natural, but everything else you have to learn. How to dress, how to behave, everything. And who do you learn it from? Your parents. In the modern self-help industry, we call it mentors. And what these mentors do is essentially teach you what they've gone through so you can go through what they've gone through without as much pain, maybe. Society has a lot of awareness for women. But what's a man? Have you asked yourself this question? Boys certainly learn their behavior from women and men. Moms are super important in the upbringing of kids, but so are the fathers. How else would a boy learn to deal with hormonally anxious, aggressive, and sexually oriented hormones? I wouldn't know how. In fact, that leaves me asking the question, what is the difference between a gentleman and a man? Back in the days, the British nobility had gentlemen as the lowest rank. I don't think you were aware of that. As a gentleman, one of the key things was to have respect. What that means nowadays is not that you hold open the door, as we might imagine, for a woman. It means that you don't care whether it is a woman or a man walking through that door. What this means is that you come true to your values, that you come true to your words. Nowadays, we call that integrity. And in our modern society, with social media, and as we will hear, phones all around us, your mental stamina is ever so important. When you come from a feminist background, maybe your peer group, maybe your family household, like mine, dominated by the urge to vote women into politics, you might ask yourself, why? By demonizing masculinity, we take away the possibility for generations of gentlemen to arise. Let me repeat. By demonizing masculinity, we take away the potential of generations of gentlemen to arise. Think back to the story I told you about Valentine's Day. Morality will always drive your behavior. And living in your anti-world that you're living in, serve with your strength and stand for something rather than against everything. Rather than being an activist and continually engaging in protests, create value and lead by example. When talking about leading by example, I want you to know that I am all for reinventing the pride of masculinity. I want more men to be able to say that I am proud of being a man, and I am devoted to become a gentleman. The solution I have for us all is rather simple. Uncompromisable core values, the same way that a soldier has uncompromisable values. I'm all for respect, for integrity, and mental stamina. Do you want to be a killer, or do you want to be a gentleman? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. That was awesome.
Thank you.
And yeah, Sander and I, we've had many conversations on this topic before. And I actually come from a divorced household. My parents were divorced when I was around 8 to 10 years old. And I don't have a good relationship with my father. And for me, it has been tremendously difficult over the past 5 years, and maybe even longer, to develop my masculinity, as you just said. And that's been a continuous struggle, a continuous journey. And it is not something that's easy, like you said. It's very difficult, and I think it's a beautiful speech, and we need more of that. So be the gentleman that you can be. I know that you have that in you, and thank you.
Thank you very much.
Again, yes. All right, heavy subject, important subject, but we're going to move into a different subject. And Sander already briefly mentioned it. I heard you say something about the phone. The phones that are all around us. And our next speaker is going to convince you, hopefully, to maybe not have that phone around you all the time. So I'm going to welcome Claire to the stage on the topic of why you should put your phone down.
Oh.
Yeah. Back where we were.
Okay. Hey everyone, I'm Claire and I'm 21 years old and I'm from a small village in the south of Germany. I study here in Groningen at the Hanse University of Applied Sciences and I study international communication. Personally, I would describe myself as a very curious and spontaneous person. And that's also part why I chose this event. It was a very spontaneous decision for me, but I'm still like super excited to do it. And the thing I want to talk about is why you should use your phone less or just turn it off sometimes. And I want to share my experiences with you about me often being without a phone and also why I love it so much. So yeah, I'm a bit nervous to do this, but I'm also super excited and yeah. Kind of everything. I mean, I feel excited. I'm also quite nervous, but it comes in waves. Sometimes I'm more excited, sometimes I'm more nervous. Yeah, it's basically everything, but I'm quite excited and nervous. The best thing would be for me if people would just get inspired to do the same, like to just try it out, you know, like turn their phones off for a while, live more in the offline world rather than spending a lot of time online. Yeah, that would be great, just to inspire people to.
She's there standing.
You can totally do this. Yeah. Why am I so busy? Why do I never have time? Why do I feel restless? Does one of these questions sound familiar to you? Or maybe all of them? All of the three questions I asked myself quite a lot, and I found my answer during this pandemic. So let me begin. It all started in March. Uni closed. No one really knew what was going on. A lot of countries went into lockdown, and I went home. For those who don't know me, my home is a small town in the south of Germany, and my parents live on a farm. The first days at home, I spent a lot of time in front of my laptop and my phone, scrolling through Instagram, doing my uni stuff, FaceTime with my friends, you know, just the usual. And time flew. The screen time on my phone was 4 hours. And what did I spend most time on? Take a guess. I'm pretty sure we all know it. Yes, exactly. Social media. Did you know that people between 16 and 29 spend on average 3 hours per day on social media? That's 90 hours a month and 46 days a year. On average, we spend 46 days a year on social media. Isn't that crazy? So to come back to me, as I said, my phone screen time was 4 hours. And at some point, I asked myself, what are you doing, Claire? What are you getting out of this? I realized that I didn't really do a lot besides being on my phone, but still I felt so busy, so stressed, so restless. And I also realized that there were loads of things that I still wanted to do, but somehow I just never had the time between always being reachable, scrolling through Instagram, FaceTiming my friends, and studying on top of that. And I don't even know anymore what the exact reason for it was, but one day I decided to turn off my phone for a day, and then for another day, and another one. First, it was super weird. I felt incomplete. I wanted to FaceTime my friends. I was overwhelmed by my thoughts. And even though I didn't really want to admit it, I caught myself thinking quite a lot about my phone and also in general, what's going on in the online world. But the days passed, and it got better, and I started to spend a lot of time outside. I went on biking tours with my grandpa. I went hiking in the woods. I started photography. And my best friend, my dad, and I even started our own garden. We grew our own vegetables and flowers. And while doing all those things, my mind became calm and quiet. I finally felt content. Whereas I heard a lot of people struggling throughout the lockdown with mental health, I didn't. For me, it was like by turning off my phone, I entered a new world, a world that I liked way better. And I had an amazing time because I finally had time to do all the things that I wanted. In May, I went back to Groningen, and I was really curious if being offline will make me feel as good as it used to at home, as I couldn't go in my garden. I couldn't go on biking tours with my grandpa, and I couldn't go hiking in the woods. But soon I realized that it worked exactly the same. Also here in Groningen, I found so many things that I still wanted to do as soon as my phone was turned off. I started running, rediscovered my passion for reading and writing, informed myself about politics, and really recently, I started to play the ukulele. Well, my friends would say play is a bit of a stretch, but I am really trying to play the ukulele. Now I talked about all the things that I did, but not really how it made me feel. This feeling that I have when I turn off my phone can be compared to a holiday. My mind, as I said, is more peaceful, but at the same time, everything is more intense. I'm more in the moment, and I swear I walk through the same streets, but I see things and people that I've never seen before. I hear sounds that I've never heard before. And I just feel more alive. At some point, I came to realize that I'd rather be with one person at one place 100% than being with one person, texting with my other friend, liking pictures of other friends, and watching the stories of 10 people that I barely know. I just want to be where I am, with who I am. The people I meet and the place that I am at is enough. And now looking back at the time when my phone was my best friend, which is quite a normal thing nowadays, I can't help but ask myself, why? For whom? Why did I do this to myself? And why are we still doing this to ourselves? Does it make us feel any better? No, certainly not. If it makes us feel anything, I'm sure that it makes us feel worse. I mean, let's be honest. Is it a coincidence that with the rise of social media and smartphones, today's teenagers are more depressed and stressed than ever? Is it a coincidence that suicide rates are constantly rising? Especially now, that we have so much time since we just simply cannot live our normal lives. With all that time, let's not waste it in front of a screen. Let's focus on ourselves and let's live in the real world. And by saying, let's live in the real world, I don't mean you should not use your phone at all. I don't mean you should all walk to the next trash and throw away your phone. Of course not. I am aware that a life without a phone is almost impossible, especially nowadays. I have a phone, and I need it too, although I don't like that at all. But what I mean is, do not live your life through that phone. Be aware of how and also how much you use it. And maybe, hopefully, one day, you will find that switch off button too. So, if you ever feel like the online world is getting too much for you and your mind is screaming, or maybe you feel fine and you're just curious what the offline world, the real world, still has to offer, either way, turn off your phone. Reconnect. Give yourself that holiday. And now at last, I want to encourage you all to check your screen time. How many hours do you spend every day on your phone? And what do you really want to do with all that time? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Claire. If you could just stay on the stage. It's quite ironic that we are live streaming this event right now, and for everyone who's watching it on their phone, don't turn it off quite yet. And I just want to ask all the speakers to come up on stage for a moment. And normally this would be the time where you would get a standing ovation, and I can already feel it coming through the ether. But we'll have to do with a silent ovation and some beautiful flowers that we got for you guys. Thank you so much for these awesome presentations. That was absolutely gorgeous. So I will just bow to you and pretend like that's like a cacophony of applaud and woo, you know. And yeah, awesome. Good job. Cool.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And also a big thanks to the whole crew here. We got Anna, Indy, we got Tirza, we got Manuel, we got Marlena and Mila from the improv. You guys are also getting some flowers. Just wait and sit. Then we got Lucy, we got Bjarne, and we got Meerden here, and the forum crew. So everyone, thank you so much for making this possible. And if I can be so free, I just want to take this moment to tell you for 2 minutes a little bit about Be More, the organization that is organizing Talk2be now 3 years in a row. So I am the chairman of Be More, and Be More is a foundation that focuses on personal growth and development for students. And that can really be growth in the broadest sense of the word, or it could be spiritual growth, it could be physical growth, social growth, like all these different topics that we actually talked about this evening. We are trying to bring that to students so that they can utilize their greatest potential, right? We want to help you get the skills that you might not necessarily learn at university, but that will definitely help you be a better human. That is our mission. We will be organizing many more events. This is a bigger event, but we also do monthly workshops, we do challenges, we got a podcast, we're doing videos, so there's something there for everyone. And we would openly want to invite all of you to join us in our future events. If you're interested in joining, we will drop our link to the WhatsApp group, to our Instagram account, and also we will be dropping a link to a feedback form. And if you could just take 2 minutes to fill out that feedback form, let us know what went well, but also let us know how we can improve, then that would be tremendously appreciated. Lastly, before we wrap this up, I want to thank you for joining, for watching this live stream, and I sincerely hope that next year we can all be together for Talk2be 4.0. But for now, I just want to thank you with all my heart, and I hope to see you all very soon. Bye-bye.